Hello everybody, my name is Memo. This is my channel, Fancy Memo. Welcome back to my channel. And welcome back to this week where I talk about the best and the worst music from 2025. And we made it. We finally made it. We are going to be talking about the top, I was about to say 25, top 50. Yes, you heard me. 50 albums of 2025. Yesterday I talked about the top 50 songs from 2025. I have a playlist for that. I'll leave a link in the description down below if you want to check it out. I've talked about the top 10 EPs of the year, the top 10 worst songs, top 10 worst albums of the year, but we finally made it to the top 50 albums of 2025. This is what you've all been waiting for. This is what I've been waiting for. I love making these lists and I love talking about my favorite albums, so let's do that. But before we do, if you like music related content like this, please subscribe, since that is what I do here. And if you're already subscribed and you want more of this for some reason, check out my Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. If you like basketball, more specifically NBA basketball, I have a basketball podcast. It's called Above the Rim Rundown, where we run down all things NBA. Check it out if you're interested. But yeah, okay, here we go. We've got a long list of albums to get through. I will speed run the first half, the 50 through 26. Then I'll talk a little bit more about each project as we get closer to the top 10, and then I will be a lot more descriptive. So yeah, I guess let's get started. Why not? At number 50, we've got Lefty Gunplay and Jason Martin with Can't Get Right. Why do they call him Lefty? Because he can't get right. That's why. At number 49, we've got Uchis with Uchis 7. At 48, we've got DeBÍ with Slugger. At 47, we've got Billy Wood's latest solo project. The title of the album will be in the description down below. At 46, we've got Earl Sweatshirt with Live, Laugh, Love. At 45, we've got Clipping with Dead Channel Sky. At 44, we've got Fly Anakin, The Forever Dream, very underrated. At 43, we've got Bruiser, and Harry Fraud with Made by Dope. He also dropped Potluck, which is an honorable mention. I do enjoy that project. Shout out to Bruiser. At 42, we've got Navy Blue with The Sword and the Soaring. At 41, we've got Daniel Caesar with Son of Spergy. Number 40, we've got Dijon with Baby. Number 39 goes to Mac Miller, the legend. Rest in peace to Mac Miller with Balloonerism. 38 goes to Turnstile with Never Enough. 37 goes to Pink Pantheress with Fancy That. At 36, we've got Larry June, 2 Chainz, and The Alchemist with Life is Beautiful. At 35, I've got Rich Brian with Where Is My Head. At number 34, it's Olivia Dean with The Art of Loving. At 33, I've got Party of Two with America's Next Top Party. Number 32 goes to Spelling with Portrait of My Heart. At number 31, it goes to Ghais Guevara with Goyard. Ibn said, or Ibn said, I'm not really sure how to pronounce that, but shout out to Ghais. Number 30 goes to Tia Corinne with Corinian. Number 29 goes to Joey Valence and Brae with Hyper Youth. Number 28 goes to Key Glock with Glockavelli. Number 37 goes to Aesop Rock with Black Hole Superette. And at number 26, we've got Deftones with Private Music. Alright, we just went through 25 albums. Now let's talk about the top 25 albums of the year, starting with Red Veil's newest project, Sankofa. I probably butchered that as well, but shout out to Red Veil. This is by far his best album. Albums like these are the reason why I wait till the year is over to release my end of the year list, because there were so many outlets out there revealing their top 50 albums of the year or whatever before this album was released. And this is clearly a top 25 album in my opinion. So the fact that many publications don't have this album on their list because they're too click greedy and wanted to release their lists earlier and earlier every year, it's crazy. But yeah, shout out to Red Veil. He did his thing on this project. It's amazing. Oh my god. At number 24, we've got Quadeca with Vanisher, Horizon Scraper. What an ambitious project from Quadeca. From YouTube rapper to one of the most talented artists out now. This is such an ambitious, heavy project with some of my favorite songs of the year being a part of this. It was easily going to be in my top 50 list. So yeah, shout out to Quadeca. At number 23, we've got Freddie Gibbs in The Alchemist with Alfredo 2. They're back and they sound amazing. I'm glad we have this sequel. Alfredo was amazing, and although I don't think Alfredo 2 is as good, it's still incredible. It's such a great listen. At number 22, we've got Jid with God Does Like Ugly, a very versatile project from this Atlanta rapper. I really enjoyed it, even though it's not my favorite Jid album. It's still really good. So yeah, shout out to him. I really enjoyed this one. At 21, we've got The Weeknd with Hurry Up Tomorrow. By far The Weeknd's most ambitious project to date, ending one of the greatest pop trilogies of all time. Simply an amazing way to end a career. Like, wow, this is outstanding. At number 20, we've got Not For Radio with Mel. I've been obsessed with Maria and all things Maria's, so I'm really happy that she released her solo project, especially around the time that it did, because that's when I was like really obsessing over her music. So Maria dropping this solo project, going by the alias Not For Radio, was perfect timing for me. And oh my god, this is such a beautiful, somber, melancholy album that I love to listen to. It's raining right now. This is the perfect album to play when it's raining out. So yeah, this is beautiful. At number 19, I've got John Michael and Anthony James with Ego Trip, a very creative and ambitious project from these indie hip-hop artists. John Michael did his thing with the bars. Anthony James killed it with production. Oh my god, dude, the production here is phenomenal. At number 18, I've got McKinley Dixon with Magic Alive. What an incredible jazz rap project from McKinley. He just continues to impress me with every release. Although I prefer Beloved Paradise Jazz, this is such a well-written album about grief, and the instrumentation here is beautiful. So shout out to McKinley. Number 17, I've got Geese with Getting Killed. I'm on the Geese train now. I joined a little late, I feel like, but you know, I do really enjoy their music. It took me a while, and I feel like with even more time, this project will grow on me, but at the moment, I do really love it. I think the performances here are spectacular, and Cameron's voice is odd, but in a good way. It's so unique and filled with emotion. So yeah, that's my number 17. At number 16, I've got Danny Brown with Stardust. Danny Brown continues to do Danny Brown things and just do things you wouldn't expect him to do. On this project, he is rapping over hyperpop production for the most part. There are tracks that aren't hyperpop-esque, but are still amazing. And yeah, he can rap over anything. He really can. I can turn on a blender right now and he'll find a pocket. He's that talented. So yeah, I really like how Danny Brown is experimenting once again, trying out a sound that he's been enjoying for years, working with so many hyperpop artists and dropping bars while doing it. There was some great personal moments throughout this album as well. It's not just a fun, chaotic project. Danny Brown gets pretty sincere and vulnerable as well. So yeah, shout out to him. He's a living legend. I love him a lot. Shout out to Danny. Number 15, one of the features from Stardust, Jane Remover with Revengeseekerz. Oh my god, this one took me a while to understand. It was a bit too loud and in your face for me, and you know, that's still kind of the case. I'm sure if I give it even more listens, I'll love it more and more, but at the moment, I've been really enjoying this album. I think it helped that she dropped her EP earlier this month in December, so that made me want to come back to Revengeseekerz, and yeah, I'm starting to get it. I'm starting to get why a lot of people are loving this project. It's so out there. It really is very bombastic and ambitious and chaotic, aggressive at times. Jane did a phenomenal job on the production, and her performance throughout this album is one of a kind. This is great. At number 14, we've got the legends De La Soul with Cabin in the Sky. Man, what a beautiful tribute to Dave. I really love what they did here in order to honor Dave and his legacy. I love how they had so many hip-hop legends come through and rap on this album, like Killer Mike, Black Thought, Q-Tip, just to name a few. The writing is spectacular. The instrumentals are insane. So many great and creative samples and interpolations. They would use like popular music within their production, and it somehow always worked. Doesn't come across as like lazy or corny whatsoever. De La Soul just proves that they are some of the best to ever do it. So shout out to them. Rest in peace to Dave. At number 13, I've got Black Country New Road with Forever Howlong. This is their first studio album without Isaac Woods. Instead of him, we've got the ladies coming through with the vocals, and they all did phenomenal. This is such a nice, pleasant, whimsical listen with some of their best storytelling to date. Although this isn't my favorite Black Country New Road album, what they did here is truly special, and it makes me excited for their future. At number 12, I've got EUSEXUA by FKA Twigs. This might be my favorite Twigs album, honestly. Like, the more I listen to this, the more I love it. I love the dancey production. I love how experimental and industrial it can be. Twigs is very sexual throughout the entire project, which this is such a fun album to listen to. I really enjoyed this project from Twigs. Really impressive stuff right here. And before we talk about the top 10, at number 11, I've got to talk about Blush by Kevin Abstract. This is a masterclass in album curation. Kevin Abstract came through and delivered such a behemoth of a project, throwing in so many different artists in the mix and somehow making it all work, making it all sound so seamless. The production is phenomenal. All of the guest features are well placed. A lot of them delivered some amazing performances, like Derby or JPEG Mafia. Quadeca has an amazing song. Kevin Abstract is an amazing curator. He was successful at that with Brockhampton, and he did it once again on Blush. This is by far my favorite project from him since his work with Brockhampton. I think he did a phenomenal job here, and I hope he keeps it up. But there we go. We've made it to the top 10 albums of 2025. At number 10, I will be talking about Tyler, the Creator, with Don't Tap the Glass. Is this Tyler's best album? No. But is it one of his most fun and addicting to listen to? Yes. Tyler goes into a dance direction on this project, rapping over some lively instrumentals. A lot of the tracks here are very catchy, like Sugar on My Tongue. There are tracks here that, give me like a Michael Jackson Bad Era vibe, like ring, 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 pick up the phone. I like how explosive he starts things off with Big Poe. I like how he ends the album. Like, the final 3 tracks off this album are so beautiful. Yeah, this album simply just had so much replay value for me. It's a short project, so that helps out a lot. But I was addicted to this project. Tyler's one of my favorite artists of all time. I love dance music, and he came through with a great dance album, so of course I'm gonna return to this and enjoy it. I even listened to this album back to back. Like, I never do that. I never re-listen to albums back to back, but I had to with this one because it's so fun. So yeah, shout out to Tyler. Had to make the top 10. At number 9, I've got Little Simz with Lotus. Little Simz, dude, the run she has been on is legendary. She is doing things that legendary rappers are doing, like Tyler, the Creator, like Kanye in his prime, like Kendrick Lamar. She just simply does not miss when it comes to albums. Lotus is one of the best hip-hop albums of the year. Had some of the most creative songs with impeccable writing. She is one of the best lyricists in the game. I don't care who you throw at me. Little Simz is better. You want to say J. Cole's better? Hell no. Little Simz is better. Little Simz is one of the best out, period. She's not the best UK rapper. She's not the best female rapper. She is one of the best rappers, period. And this album proves it. With tracks like Thief, where she's going after her former producer and how he stole from her. Whether you talk about the beautiful outro Blue with Sampha, oh my god. The writing on Blood is incredible. Jaw-dropping stuff. Only thing I will say is I wasn't a fan of Young. But other than that, this track list is basically perfect. Dude, this track list is amazing. There's one skip, okay? One skip out of 13. Ooh, like, that's no big deal. The ratio's amazing. Lil Sims is amazing. This album is gorgeous. So shout out to Simbi. At number 8, I've got Maruja with Pain to Power. I at least think that's how you say their name. I'm not really sure. One of the many artists I discovered this year that I really fell in love with off of first listen. I discovered their music while listening to Horizon Vanisher Scraper earlier this year. They were on the final track. I really enjoyed their sound on that track. And when I came to this album right here, I instantly fell in love. It's so aggressive and angry. I love how they build tension and chaos through their instrumentals. And the vocals, dude, they're either the most violent thing you've ever heard or like the most beautiful, which is really insane to hear from track to track how they can balance these different sounds. But yeah, the instrumentation here is phenomenal. I really love the saxophone playing throughout every single track. I think that's kind of what they're known for, maybe. I don't know much about this band, but I just know that this is phenomenal. And I think this would be considered my favorite rock album of the year. I really enjoyed this. So yeah, shout out. At number 7, I've got Horror with Tomorrow We Escape. It's very hard to describe this album because it takes from a little bit of everything. You know, it's a hip-hop album that goes into like a horrorcore direction. There's a little bit of metal, maybe even screamo in there, some punk as well. And the way that they take all of these sounds and put it into one cohesive album is impressive. This is one of the most insane, angriest, darkest albums I've heard all year. It is so much fun to listen to. At some points they're just like going at you full speed ahead, and at others you're hearing like a beautiful feature and some impressive lyricism. I'm really happy that I gave this album a chance. I've known of Horror for a bit, but I've never listened to their music. But now that I have, I'm a big fan. Like, there's a reason why this is in the top 10, because it's that good. This is insanely good. Number 6, I've got Nourished by Time with The Passionate Ones. Another artist I'm so glad I discovered this year. This is such a phenomenal album. A kind of like synth pop, alt R&B. I don't know how to describe it, but like, this is such a fun album filled with amazing performances, addicting to listen to tracks. Anytime I want to be in like a good mood, I put this album on. It is so addicting. A lot of replay value for me. I've had so many car rides with this album blasting and me trying to sing every lyric. It's funky, it's fun, it's groovy. It's a must listen. If you haven't listened to it already, listen to it, please. Alright, we've made it to the top 5. At number 5, I've got Nina Girachi with I Love My Computer. Another one of these projects that I was absolutely obsessed with, that had so much replay value for me. It got to the point where I kind of had to ban myself from listening to this album because of the amount of times I would go back to it over and over and over again. It is the most addicting album on this list, probably. Nina Girachi just did a phenomenal job making fun electronic music that gives this Y2K vibe throughout the entire thing. She's talking about iPod touches. She's talking about some freaky stuff about computers. It is weird. It is cute. It is fun. It is lively. It is an album that I will be going back to a lot. Like, this is, again, the most addicting project I've listened to all year. So if you want to have some fun, I highly recommend this album. It's incredible. Alright, at number 4, I've got Bad Bunny with Debí Tirar Más FOToS. Yeah, I'm surprised too, honestly. I'm surprised Bad Bunny is this high up on my list, but I had to. I really had to. This is his magnum opus. This is his To Pimp a Butterfly. his My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. This is a phenomenal project, a love letter to Puerto Rico. Throughout this album, Bad Bunny is taking inspiration from traditional Puerto Rican genres, implementing it, making it his own. Lyrically, he jumbles through a few different subjects like love, but he's also talking about, the gentrification that's going on in Puerto Rico. He also talks about wishing to take more photos with loved ones that are no longer with him. It's not just another Latin pop Bad Bunny album. There is a lot to this project. Like, everything has a purpose. Every lyric, every instrument used, everything here has a purpose to tell a story and to showcase what makes Puerto Rico so special. So shout out to Bad Bunny for making such a fun and beautiful album, such a diverse one as well. There's a lot of variety throughout this track list. There will be something you enjoy, unless you're like me and you enjoy the whole thing. This is really special. So yeah, shout out to Bad Bunny. Of all people, top 5 is kind of crazy, but he deserved it. All right, top 3. We made it to the top 3. At number 3, it's the most underrated album of the year in my opinion. Sincerely by Uchis. Where was the discussion around this album? What happened? This is such a phenomenal album from Uchis. Oh my god. This is such a beautiful love album. She poured her entire heart out on every single song here. Why did nobody talk about this album? I felt like it came and went, but for me it just came and stayed, and I've enjoyed its stay because it's filled with so many well-written love tracks that, gets me teary-eyed. Hopefully one day I can find love the same way that Callie did and feel the feelings that she feels. This is a very lovesick album filled with not only a lot of love, obviously, but it's her talking about her vulnerabilities as well, going very in depth, and she's just being very sincere throughout this entire project. I really love the instrumentation as well. This is a beautiful dream pop album that is pleasant to the ear. To me, this might be Callie's best album. It's hard for me to pick my favorite Callie album, but this might be it. It has her best writing. It has a very consistent sound throughout this entire project, and some of her best performances yet. So highly recommend this new Callie album. Number 2, in any other year, this would be probably my number 1, but it's my number 2, and it goes to Clipse with Let God Sort Him Out. What can I say that hasn't been said already? This is like the greatest comeback album of all time. It's like this and We Got It From Here, Thank You For Your Service. Like, it's up there as one of the best comeback albums of all time. This duo, these brothers, came through when nobody expected them to and delivered like the best hip-hop album of the year, at least mainstream hip-hop album of the year. And they did so by not only continuing to do what they're great at and provide some coke rap over Pharrell Williams production, but they had several vulnerable moments as well. Whether you talk about Birds Don't Sing, where they're talking about the loss of both of their parents. There's more than just coke with these guys. They do come through with some heart-wrenching writing, but at the same time, they also came through with some of the smartest and wittiest bars that revolves around coke. Some crazy stuff here, some evil stuff here. I love the line. I think it was Malice. I'll close your heaven for the hell of it, dude. That's insane. I think Pusha T had this incredible money bar. I think he said, what was it? I store slave owner souls in a safe, something like that. It's just a crazy way to say I have a lot of money in the bank. Dude, these guys are menaces. They really came through talking their shit and out rapping the entire game, dude. No other rapper came close to Clipse in the mainstream. So yeah, Clipse really impressed me here. They are living legends. I love them a lot. Shout out to all the features on this album too. Kendrick killed it. Pharrell killed it. Tyler the Creator had one of the best features of the year on POV. This is such a fun and addicting album as well. This is another album where I had to stop myself from going back to it so often. It has a lot of replay value, but unfortunately it is not my number 1 album of the year. My number 1 album of 2025 goes to Only Dust Remains by Backxwash. Dude, the run that Backxwash has been on. I talked about Little Sims legendary run, Backxwash has had an amazing run as well. The last 3 albums of hers is one of the greatest 3 album runs in hip-hop history, but nobody's ever gonna acknowledge that because of the lane that she's in. There are so many reasons why I consider this the best album of 2025. Whether you talk about instrumentals, look, Pharrell Williams killed it on Let God Sort Him Out. The instrumentals there are really good, but on Only Dust Remains, it's on another level. It's so much more grandiose and epic. You could tell a lot went into each instrumental on Only Dust Remains. It's very dark, yet not too dark either. Like, this is by far Backxwash's most accessible album to date, partly because of the instrumentals, but also partly because of the storyline throughout this project. You know, it starts off very heavy and dark, with Backxwash having these dark suicidal thoughts. You could tell she's going through a lot, but the more you listen to the project, the closer you get to the end, there is a sense of hope, and I think that's beautiful. We didn't really get that, or not a lot of that, from her previous albums, but on this project right here, there is a sign of hope that things will get better, and I feel like that's a perfect reminder for us all that, yeah, it could be tough. Depending on who you are, it may be very difficult, but just keep going, just keep pushing, and things will get better. And one of the most real and depressing lines I've heard from this project was, let me look it up so I don't butcher this one. Found the lyric. It says, "There's a game coming out that I really want to fucking play." Basically, it's Backxwash finding any reason whatsoever to keep going and to not give up. For her, it was video games. I remember when I was in a similar state, I guess. For me, it was Stranger Things. You know, I've got to wait till I watch the Stranger Things finale or Spider-Verse. I have to keep pushing because I want to watch the new Spider-Verse movie. You know, when you're in that mindset, you need anything in order to keep going. And as silly as it could be, maybe it is a video game, maybe it is a Spider-Man movie or Stranger Things. Whatever works for you, works for you. So her putting that in pen, her putting that in a record, to me, is one of the most real things I've heard a rapper do. I've never heard a rapper go this in depth with talking about mental health, and the fact that not only was it realistic to me, but eventually throughout the album for Backxwash, things got better, was just a beautiful sight to see. Makes me very happy for her, and I hope that anybody who goes through a rough time can find the light, similar to Backxwash, similar to me, you know, being able to push through, keep going, and finally wake up. So yeah, this is a very emotional album, a very passionate album, a very raw album. I think Backxwash did a phenomenal job on the rapping aspect. You know, that's what she does. She always comes through on the rapping side, on the performance side. She gives it her all every single time. The instrumentals, again, are jaw-dropping, one of a kind, and the writing here is dark but hopeful at the same time. So yeah, I love this album a lot. That is why Only Dust Remains by Backxwash is my album of the year for 2025. There we go. So that's it. That is this week. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. A reminder that my top 50 songs of the year list is out on YouTube, and you can listen to every single one of those songs on Spotify. The link to the playlist is down below. But yeah, thank you for an incredible year. 2025 was pretty good for me for many reasons, and you guys coming in and watching my stuff was definitely a highlight for me, so I appreciate you all. But yeah, I'm gonna end it here. So thank you guys for watching. If you like the video, makes sense, right? Comment down below what's your favorite album of the year. Mine is Only Dust Remains by Backxwash. Let me know what's your favorite album of the year down below. If you like music related content like this, please subscribe, since that is what I do here. And if you're already subscribed and you want more of this for some reason, check out my Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. If you like basketball, more specifically NBA basketball, I have a basketball podcast. It's called Above the Rim Rundown, where we run down all things NBA. Check it out if you're interested. But yeah, I'm done here. So thank you guys for watching. I love you guys. Goodbye. Toodles.